I love Bob's Burgers. Seeing it grow to the juggernaut it has become has been great since I've been watching since day one. Those early episodes especially felt like a great bridge between creator Lauren Bouchard's earlier, more alt-comedy styled shows and the mainstream animated comedies the show is regarded as the peer of. As Bob's has grown more and more in the mainstream, it has hung on to what defines it at its core, something difficult for any show to do over 10 plus years. One of the lasting themes across the series' run is the topic of failure. I want to go over some of the ways the show portrays failure, and maybe what we can learn from it.
Is a restaurant a recipe for failure?
Let's do this. So, getting into this topic on the internet, I want to say something quickly. I'm not claiming that the show is all about failure, or that it is a failure. The thumbnail might make it seem that way, for clicks. Cool? Cool. Failure is a recurring theme within the series. You can see that in so many of the characters. Let's start with the titular Bob Burger.
His name is Bob Burger.
It's not.
Oh, sorry. Time and time again, Bob is shown to be a talented cook. Like, rich people hire him good. Despite that, the restaurant seems to be constantly on the edge of failure. Now, the difficulties of running any business successfully, let alone a restaurant aside, this makes my point. He can barely keep the place going. His focus is more on recipes, burger of the day puns, than it is on finding ways to grow and sustain the business.
Are we a burger sinking ship?
I swear I'm not just going to keep cutting back to that song. But it is really good. Now look at Linda. Linda is one of the most confident characters on television. On top of that, she is also extremely passionate and prone to chase those passions, dropping everything else on a whim. Just look at that episode where she turns the restaurant into a dinner theater. Once she gets started, Linda is like a shark. She does not stop. It's part of her charm, what makes her such a supportive mom and partner, because when she backs you 200%. She honestly might be the best animated TV mom, a question I ask myself a lot. At the same time, this energy and passion can really get you in over your head, leading to potential failure. We have the same thing with Gene and his music, with writing musicals, starting a girl group to manage. He throws himself in, vastly unprepared, setting himself up to lose because he's in over his head. I hear what you're saying. Talk about my girl Tina! I am, now. And in talking about her, I want to break down a specific episode to cover not only how they portray her failures, but how the show does it, what I think is a bit differently. The episode in question is Season 6, Episode 17, The Horse Rider-er. Horse Rider-er. God, I love these episode titles. In the episode, the family manages to make Tina's dream come true, sending her to a horse camp. In going there, she tells her imaginary horse Jericho, voiced by Paul Rudd, that she no longer needs him. She's going to be paired with a real horse and has to leave her childish daydreams behind. At the camp, Tina is paired with a horse named Plop.
Why is he called Plop? Okay, that makes sense.
Who to say is less in love with her than Jericho is an understatement. Learning to ride does not go well, in no small part because of her lack of a bond with good old Plop. Exhibition day comes around, and after being knocked off Plop, Tina realizes that Jericho is her horse and rides him in front of everybody. It's a little cringy, but overall charming. And that is where Bob's Burgers puts its stamp on failure. Did Tina successfully learn to ride a horse? Not really. You could make arguments for her, but whatever. She was being true to herself, and that's what matters. On top of that, despite Bob questioning why they paid for this, the family is supportive and encouraging at this moment, making it triumphant. Classic narrative structures depict their characters as failing, bringing them to their lowest point, so that when they do succeed, it feels better and more earned. They've pulled themselves up from the bottom. With Bob's Burgers, our triumphant moment comes from the characters in question being themselves. Now, this isn't some radical new form of narrative that they have come up with, but I do feel that Bob's Burgers specializes in this, doing it as often as most shows do the typical victory arc. On top of that, Bob's works so well because of the Belcher family. The Belchers will always, at the end of the day, support each other. Even if they are at odds, they will have each other's back. They will rally behind Tina when she rides her imaginary horse in front of a crowd, Animated sitcoms like this are often compared to The Simpsons. Makes sense, as it is kind of the progenitor of how we see these kinds of shows. To me, Bob's Burgers is the best at capturing the original Simpsons spirit. When it started, The Simpsons was counterculture, a more dysfunctional family than what was on TV at the time. Since then, shows like Family Guy, South Park, even BoJack Horseman have taken this format and pushed it to edgier and darker places. Some great stuff has come from there, but now that more cynical feeling show is the norm. So Bob's Burgers, with its silliness over edginess and love and support above all else, feels like the new counterculture. And it also feels genuine. I have never questioned that they care about each other. It doesn't feel manufactured to pull on the heartstrings the way the show does. And in discussing all of this, I want to bring up the way Louise's character reflects failure a little bit differently. A lot of Louise's storylines, as both the youngest sibling and the troublemaker of the ensemble, revolve around getting out of the problems that she has caused for herself. That said, there are 2 episodes of hers that I want to highlight here. The first is episode 13 of the 13th season, Stop or My Mom Will Sleuth. The episode revolves around Linda trying to prove Louise is innocent of stealing from another kid.
My Louise, a thief? Not my Louise. Maybe my Louise. No, not my Louise.
A lot of the episode has characters assuming that Louise did it.
She will, because she did it. And if she doesn't, she still did it. Because I can't file away this incident report until I have a name.
What? No.
Yeah, no, right?
Yeah, probably not. But I mean...
She is a mischievous little minx.
Yeah.
But no, probably.
The perception of Louise is that of a worse person than she is, and when she becomes directly involved in the plot, she has to prove her own innocence.
Oh, my Louise. Oh, my baby. What if you get suspended? You're branded. It'll follow you everywhere. You'll never be president.
What? Wait, what?
The second episode, also from season 13, is episode 22, Amelia. In this one, Louise is driven to prove herself to be better than Wayne, who doubts her being able to succeed. The subject of her project is Amelia Earhart, who failed to travel around the world. Amelia, obviously, is a parallel to Louise, easily viewed as a failure, but contains multitudes beyond that. These episodes are more conventional examples of overcoming obstacles, but even in doing so, they keep to the core of these characters. Both episodes have Linda supporting Louise, helping her prove her innocence and worth, respectively.
Heroes don't have to be perfect, you know? They just have to make you think bigger about yourself somehow.
Amelia also shows the work and support put in by Tina and Jean to make the project great. The animation on these shadow puppets is some of the best work any of these Fox animated shows has ever produced, honestly. So good. So good. And it's this support, the Belchers being there for each other no matter what, that is the core of the series. Beyond the eccentric but charming side characters or the silly musical numbers that have grown over the years, it's the heart. It's so wonderful, and it shows the importance of being there for those you love. Not just when it's easy, not just when they succeed, but when it's hard, when they don't. I think whether they realize it or not, this is why so many people love the series as much as they do. Why it has become such a comfort for so many people. Because it is something special, and I absolutely love that.
Is a restaurant a recipe for failure?
Wait, Dad, seriously?
I love the show, I really do, and I'm so glad I finally found what felt like the right angle to come at for video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, give me ideas for more Bob's Burgers stuff I can make, because I definitely really want to. I've got more videos on adult animated sitcoms and other topics you can check out. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and until next time, have a good one.